All right. So here we are back for another episode of Legal Drug Money. I'm your host, Billy. You fucking pretty much run the whole show. Then I got my homeboy Johnny here. He's fucking trying to help me out best he can. Today, today we're going to do it a little bit differently. We're going to have a draft. What we're going to be drafting today is we're basically going to be drafting the top 10 drugs that we can think about. So like a drug could be drafted because it makes money. A drug could be drafted because it's fun to use. A drug could be drafted because of the impact it has on the world. So without further ado, let's begin.
Bum 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 bum.
Welcome, friends.
I think it's That's a cool rig.
All right, Johnny. So, do you have a coin?
Oh no, but I have a phone. My phone can do coin.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a randomizer on Johnny's phone, and one of us is gonna go first. I call heads.
You call heads? Heads or tails? Tails.
Tails. So after you, sir, what is your number one number one drug for this drug draft?
I think straight off the back, you gotta pick weed. Like you can't just like leave weed just like straggling for like be number 2 or anything.
True. I also would have had weed number 1 on my list.
Yeah, I think just there's the most money to be made in weed. Just a couple years ago, we sold more money in weed than chocolate, which is like Americans love chocolate. Everybody loves chocolate. It's like a $20 billion industry. We sold way more weed than that.
I like the idea of weed, both black market and legal and gray, whatever market, like any sort of like, I guess if we include all cannabinoids,
Yeah.
the weed market just keeps getting bigger and bigger. More and more countries worldwide are legalizing. And it's fucking, I'm looking at this shit here that says marijuana is a $75 billion a year industry worldwide. And in America, that shit's gotta be it's gotta be pretty high.
Oh, like 40.
Do you know anybody that doesn't smoke weed?
I know people that don't smoke weed like regularly, but they still smoke weed. Like mostly everybody I know is willing to hit a joint. You know anybody that's not willing to smoke weed?
Nah, everybody I know smokes weed. And it seems like more and more people every day are finding it out. You know, one of the other things I was thinking about when I was trying to compile my personal list, like I said, I also had weed number 1. Is what would I want to do? Like if I was on a desert island, like what would I want for the rest of my life? And so there were only two drugs that I have on here that I'm like, damn, what would I do without that? So weed is definitely the number 1. I mean, like I could make it through all my days, fucking everything.
What's your number 2?
I will get to that when I decide to draft it. All right, so I guess that would make it my turn.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna pick alcohol.
All right.
Alcohol is not the one that I want for my fucking desert island. Like I could handle it though. Like I could drink every day. Like I understand alcoholics and alcoholism. So like obviously it's something that you can do again and again. So you don't have to stop drinking. You know, like some of the other drugs I have on this list, it's like you do it for a long time. It's like it doesn't work. It doesn't work every day. Yeah. So alcohol, the biggest chief reason is that alcohol is worth $1.6 to $1.9 trillion on a worldwide level.
Way.
And the next closest drug that I have on my list worldwide is coffee or caffeine. Caffeine is at a quarter of that number at 500 billion. And the illicit drug that has the highest is cocaine at 130 million.
Yeah, I hear cocaine is just on the boom at the current.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, while I would rather smoke weed every day, alcohol is for me is easy to see based on how much money, how easy it is to use, and like what I could how I could imagine the rest of my life making money and using it as a product.
Okay, all right, I can see that. So like you'd open up a bar.
Oh, definitely.
Because there's money to be made.
And it's never on the chopping block. Like alcohol is so ingrained in our society that it's not like they're gonna get rid of your bar. Like, you know what I mean? Like we're smoking weed and we're doing all this shit, but like we feel like they might make it illegal. They might change the laws around it at any time. Where alcohol is like it's fucking not going. Like it's not going anywhere. They tried that once and it failed, and they'll probably it doesn't seem like they'll ever try it again.
All right, I see.
So that was the first and second. What's the next draft pick?
I think next up I gotta go like magic mushrooms. Magic mushrooms.
Mushrooms?
Yeah. I would have to say magic mushrooms before anything stronger, just because like overall like them in small doses like are really helpful. Like they can help like just like open up like your days, make your days like just like a little bit brighter.
So you don't care about money?
It's not that I don't care about drugs, or it's not that I don't care about money. It's that like I care about like overall like happiness. Billy, have you ever taken a magic mushroom?
It sounds to me like you're trying to fucking live in a worldwide utopia, rather than we're over here with legal drug money trying to fucking do drugs and get money. So now, where I could argue with I guess argue.
You just said it. Do drugs. Like we're all just trying to do drugs
So
and get money.
to live a happier life, and you know another way to think about that. You're right.
Is that how you get money?
What if like the micro dosing that I could do on my desert island with mushrooms would allow me to open my mind enough to figure out how to get off of it? You know what I mean?
That's what
like,
I'm saying.
But like, so even though I couldn't do it every day, like the way I've been thinking about it is like, well, what would I do every day? My history, my past with mushrooms is I can't do that every day.
Well, that's because you've always taken a bunch. If you take a little bit in small increments, and
even
slowly
when
work
I've
yourself
microdosed, though, like I'm not I hate to hate on microdosing, but even when I've microdosed for a lot of days in a row, it seems to kind of fuck with me. Like I have to piss a lot. I fucking and then when I get off of it, I get kind of depressed. Like that little tiny serotonin raised for a long period of time, and then you get off of it, and you're like, dang, why do I feel so shitty? I thought I was doing this to feel good, and then you kind of realize like, well, this has happened to me. That the fucking mushroom has almost like taken you. You know what I mean? It's like a long-term poisoning that it's doing to you, and as soon as you get off of it, you're like, damn, am I an addict? It's like being an addict without the feelings that you need more mushrooms.
Okay, I can feel that as well, but like also like they make you very happy. They make you feel good. They make the sun brighter. Like the sun overall, like whenever it touches your body, like you feel it. Like it's versus like whenever I go outside right now, it's super hot. Yesterday, whenever I tried some of our new gummies, I went outside and like I just like opened up my arms and I was like, oh my goodness, this is so nice.
Kind of
like,
breathe deeper, taste different.
You more just like feel everything.
And I think one could argue like with the pharmaceutical industry and like the kind of semi-legal mushrooms that are happening now is the business is growing also. Like I wouldn't imagine it's as large as any of these, like some of these other picks that I got on here, but I would imagine there's some substantial money to be made with mushrooms of all psychotropic styles.
I agree. So what do you got up next?
Okay, so that was mushrooms. I have to go with coffee. And I know a lot of people wouldn't consider coffee a drug, but man, it's addictive. Like if I don't drink it, I get a headache. If I do drink it, I just had a huge meal. And then right before I get on here, I slam a little Starbucks and I am back in the game. Like blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean?
For real, you were looking like a little bit like slumped.
And so, like I said in the previous one, the coffee alone is $500 billion a year. I didn't look up Red Bull, Monster, Coca-Cola, even like the drinks that are propelled by the caffeine industry, because most of it is that. It's just this like little tiny addiction that somebody has to Dr. Pepper. They would never say I'm addicted to caffeine if they're a soda drinker. They would say I'm addicted to Dr. Pepper. I think for that reason, it's like not only would I personally, if I was on a desert island, really love to have a cup of coffee every day. Like more, it's like if it's in the morning and you're like, do you want to smoke any weed today or have coffee? I would have to decide. Like it would be like a real decision.
No way.
And it's hella legal. Never like just like the fucking just like the alcohol. It's just like it'll be. I think there's a world in which caffeine becomes demonized, but I don't think even with as demonized as they can make it, you could ever affect the money that the caffeine is bringing in.
I think we have to clarify your addiction to coffee just like a little bit. Such as the other day, whenever Billy got here, he picked up a cup of coffee and just started drinking it in front of me, just like anything about it. Goes on the whole day, and the next day comes around and he lets me know that cup of coffee had been there overnight. He just picked it up, just started drinking it. He just didn't have any coffee that morning, so he had to make sure he had to get some coffee.
Huh. Yeah, caffeine's the pick. So all right, so that was the next pick. What's your next pick?
I guess I'm gonna have to go 5-MeO DMT.
Give me a little rundown on this real quick.
Okay, so it can be found in like a handful of places. So it can be found in plants, a lot of different barks of trees from South Africa. Mainly, it's found like if like you hear people doing it like in like a more ceremonial way. They just did it off a toad's back, like because toads secrete this little amount of like it's called toad's venom, and it secretes out of their back, and then you just smoke it. In most situations, you just smoke it. You heat it up with an indirect flame, and then depending on which type of DMT you're doing, you're gonna have an effect that lasts from like 5 to like 15 minutes.
You've done this?
Yeah, pretty big fan. I'd say it was like one of the better of any drug I've done.
So this pick here, I'm like sensing a theme. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
in what you're
I
picking,
see a theme with yours, and I see a theme with mine.
Like, so how are we getting money?
So my theme is like overall that like I try to get money and use drugs. I feel like your theme overall is to overall get money from using drugs.
Huh. So you're like, I'm gonna do my DMT. I'm gonna fucking lick my frog. I'm gonna fucking
spend my 15 minutes.
I'm gonna smoke my little smoke pipe on this fucking mind expanding fucking like out of this world experience.
You can do it once and like have like 6, 20, 30 years of just like you're chilling.
How many days in a row do you think you could do it? Like say you're on this fucking desert island stuck in the middle of Nevada.
One.
Just with water and like some little bit of beef jerky.
Just one. So
then like how long could you sit there? So you do it one day.
I wouldn't.
And then you would sit there for like 3 days, like just sober.
If I'm stuck on a desert island, I'm gonna go and like I'm just gonna work. I'm gonna be like, all right, I gotta get all these things accomplished. Then I'm gonna get. And
the DMT will allow you to not be thinking about
not gonna do it until I get there. But I wouldn't. Like I said, that wasn't one of my top.
Like 3. It could almost help you break out of the rhythms of your day to day.
Yeah.
So that in the morning you woke up and you weren't like, damn, I want a cup of coffee, or I need to smoke some fucking weed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like it's more like something to look forward to at the very end. Like I get all this stuff accomplished. I have this.
Okay. Well, fucking, I can't. You know. I could say that there's like DMT is probably getting a little bit of money, and I bet some sort of variation of DMT is getting even more money. And I would imagine that after they're done with mushrooms, they'll move to DMT as like with part of its fucking like how it can help somebody overcome their problems.
Well, I've heard a lot of people that use it just so like what I wrote down right here is that people use it for direction. Like in life, so like lots of people are lost and they'll go on these like religious trips, but like they don't actually have to be religious. It's just religious is what they call them. They go on these religious trips. They go out like far into the jungle. They've been like really confused, having no clue what to do. They come back and then they change up their entire lifestyles. They like go on like entirely new paths.
Like a way to change a way through drugs to change directions.
Yeah, without it having to be like a long-term drug usage.
Yeah. So, all right. So that was pick number 6, I believe. So me coming in pick number 7, I'm going to go with cocaine.
That's a pretty good one.
Like, I just, like to keep on with where I was talking about, right? Like, what could I do every day? I could do cocaine every day. You know what I mean? I think the problem is not doing cocaine. Like, if you start, like, it's a very addictive substance.
So if you have it on the island, you're not going to run out. You have this massive
if you just have this fucking drug, you can do it. With that, cocaine is worth $130 billion worldwide from just what we see with our eyes. Mexico seems to be run a good bit just by drug money alone. It's gotten into all the politicians. They have their own militaries. There's cocaine is like this huge fucking faucet for a lot of the world.
When you work in any restaurant, like here in Austin, most states in the United States, like it's just like everywhere in the back of it is run by cocaine. Like, well, not like necessarily they're making money off the cocaine, but all these workers, they're just on a lot of cocaine.
I would imagine it'd be higher up my list, but it's scary. Like it's dangerous to have, dangerous to get, dangerous to possess. It's almost better. It's almost like playing with fire. So as far as the list, it's on there. That I'm kind of thinking of a certain way to do it on a desert island, fucking
with an unlimited
supply. Let's get down. Yeah. We're fucking starting. If I had a multiple choice, I would definitely be like, okay, we're going to start every day with some coffee, and then we're going to move to weed. Then we're going to move to alcohol, and then we finish out with cocaine.
I'd start with mushrooms, then the weed, then the coffee.
Okay. Stay up late and fucking feel your day.
Yeah, continue with the weed throughout the day.
Okay. All right. That was the number 7 pick. What's your pick?
I guess MDA or like Molly. Like
Oh,
a lot of money there. I guess I can kind of go in the same category. Like some of the money you're seeing that's made off of cocaine is probably also being like cross-made from MDA, especially in like Europe. Like there's just a lot of money being made off this drug. It's crazy. And this is like to go back to you, like to where like you're looking at it like more as like the money to be made. Like there's just a lot of money off of this.
From what I looked up, they say about $60 billion a year worldwide in synthetic drugs, which I think is all MDMA and Molly, like fucking some form of that. And shit, I would imagine in the same scenario as I bet I could, from what people say, I could do it almost every day.
I agree. I don't personally like partake, but I do like I've tried it before. I really liked it. Like overall, it does make you like a lot happier. It makes overall situations just like better. But I don't think I could do it every day. Like I don't think it could be one of the ones I even took to the island necessarily. I think it would be one that like I could do, like on occasion and like have it as like a nice like something to have, but not every day. Like maybe if other people pulled up to the island.
You could party daily. You could go to a party daily, but maybe not do that by yourself every day.
Yeah.
That's a fucking good thought. All right, what is my pick?
Yeah.
So I'm going to pick Adderall. Adderall, people seem to like, I've never done, like it's not something I do, but people really seem to like it. Like people get very, like you were talking earlier, is like, I want to do this and then I'm going to build my house. I'm going to get my shit all ready. It doesn't seem like there's anything better than Adderall for that. Like if you had that every day, you fucking could reshape a whole island.
I was prescribed Adderall for I think like 13 years, and like I definitely like got so much stuff accomplished before I stopped taking it.
I read this fact that says 41.4 million people, Americans, are subscribed to Adderall currently.
No way.
And then me and you were chopping it up about how much an Adderall prescription costs versus how much it is on the street.
Yeah, so like for me, like it was always like $6 to $10, like for an entire 30 pills from insurance. So, versus people in the street, they pay like anywhere $10 to $15.
So the math I did on the 41.4 comes out to about $15 billion a year in Adderall sales for the company that I looked up is a company called Teva, but that's who makes it. That's who makes Adderall. So they're bringing in $15 billion a year through like maybe even more if you add insurance and stuff to that. And then if you add the resale numbers, right? Like where you're like, oh shit, it goes from, you said it can be upwards of $15 on the street. Yeah. So somebody's buying it for $1, selling it for $15. If you think that people are selling a quarter of their subscriptions, that adds up to a good bit of money also. Well, probably talking about $20 billion a year.
To pay off whatever they're having to do to get it, because it's pretty hard to get. Like now, if I wanted to get re-prescribed Adderall, I'd have to go through like a lot of steps. I'd have to pay a monthly, whatever the monthly is, to go to this doctor. Keep getting checked up on. Like I think now you have to get checked up on once every 3 months. Before it was once every 2 years, and it was like once every 6 months. And now it's like a lot less often. And like you have to actually like really work hard to prove that like you really need it. Versus like before, like it was just kind of like given.
Okay. You have any other picks?
No.
All right, so I guess that would be we're down to the dregs of the drugs. The honorable mention that I would give is Walter White. Like, do we want to do meth all day every day? But it's like we stop short at Adderall just because we believe it's a pharmaceutically cleaner product than the average. Like, you can't always get that Walter White out there on the streets. So, a lot of money to be made on meth. It seems like when you look at the news or when you see anything, it's like the whole middle of the country is addicted. You can buy it. Like they say, like the anecdotes are, it's easier to smoke meth than weed, like in the like rural places.
How crazy.
So in that way, fucking A. Like, you know what I mean? You can get some money. I think you could do it every day. You know what I mean? Like if you got a good meth habit, you could just stay awake all the time, do meth all the time and for a long time. But you'd eventually break down and die young, I think.
No shit. I can't imagine. Like personally, like no. Like I can, like I said, like I had to get off Adderall. Like you just, to me personally, I can't just keep doing it every day. Too much.
Yep. I agree. Well, Johnny, thank you very much.
For sure.
Appreciate you fucking coming through for this most current episode of Legal Drug Money. Don't forget to subscribe and like on the YouTube. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram on all our various places, TikTok. And thank you very much. Have a wonderful day. Welcome, friends.